we've got a street run, a long street run, so out around the green ones, beginning, in the middle, and at the end, okay? Circuit one, we're starting with our banded core rotations. So we're standing, facing either way, either the wall or the door. Okay, have some tension on the band to start with, and you're going to pull that band across, and you're using that core to twist. So our goal here is to keep our hips nice and stable so that we're not twisting with our hips, because as soon as we do that, our core turns off and it lets our hips do the work of moving our body. So we want to keep our hips facing the wall and twist across, okay? So you should feel this in your core and then really into your obliques as you twist. So you're going to do 10 of those on each side into a kettlebell speed clean. So you're going to grab a kettlebell, and as you go over, it's going to go between the knees and then come up into the clean position. Down, hinge back, and then come up, okay? And you're trying to keep yourself nice and stable. When you go back, you want to have your feet a good distance apart so that kettlebell goes straight between those knees. If this back leg crosses over, you're going to run the risk of banging that kettlebell into this leg, and that will hurt, and we don't want that. So when you go over to speed clean, make sure that there's about a shoulder width distance between your feet. This move I really, really like. Landmine, reverse lunge thruster, okay? It's gonna be if my right leg is forward, the landmine is in my right hand. So I'm going to lunge back and then step forward, and I'm ending contralaterally. So now my weight has shifted into this left leg, but the weight is still in my right hand, okay? It's gonna come down. I'm gonna go back into that lunge. That knee is over that toe, and then I'm coming up and I'm just stepping, okay? No jumping or switching feet. It's basically a lunge back and a step forward with that thruster up. 8 of those on each side. Play around with weight. Push yourself a little bit, because it's not, the moves today aren't super complicated, so you can go a little heavier and push yourself a little bit more. Into a rotational plate deadlift. This is another one I really like. So we're gonna have our plate, feet are shoulder width apart, nice and even, and we're twisting down, bringing that plate to the side and coming back up, okay? Down, to the side, touching that plate and coming back up. Trying again, like our banded rotationals, to not twist our hips too much. So I don't want this opposite knee to come forward. If I'm twisting my hips, it's gonna push this knee forward. I want this knee to stay back, so that when I'm doing this, look at your legs, okay? Hinge straight back and come straight up. Okay, you see the difference? If I twist my hips, it's gonna push that knee forward. Keep that knee back, go straight back, and come straight up. You're gonna inhale when you go down, exhale when you come up, so that you're really activating that core as you're lifting that weight. To supine ankle touches, we're here. Okay, you can do this with just your back on the ground, and you're going to inhale, and as you exhale, you're gonna come up into that curl position, and you're going to alternate ankle touches for 20, keeping that chest lifted off of the ground and keeping that neck nice and solid as you do this, keeping that chin away from the chest. So you got 20 of those. That is circuit 1. Circuit 2, out on the field, we're starting with a wall ball single leg toss. This move is great, but it's also one that we're gonna have to be really conscious about how we're moving our body. We're going to have one leg crossed over another, and it's kind of like, we did pistol squats yesterday. This is a kind of version of that, because we're going to be squatting down into that one leg and then tossing the ball. So, major cues here. Don't worry about how high the ball goes, okay? We're not, if it goes straight forward, that's fine. I'm not worried about how high it goes. I am worried about you being able to stay stable through your hips and sit straight back into this hip socket and then come up, okay? And get a squeeze in that glute and then be able to sit right back down into that hip and then come straight up. So the toss is not important. We're basically just using the toss to get a little more extension at the top. If the toss is hard or too hard, you can take that ball completely out of the equation and just even keep one hand on the wall for balance and work on this motion, okay? You're still gonna get tons of activation through this leg without the ball, and I would rather you be nice and balanced than to try and do that while wobbling and preventing any injury from happening.
Is this the gymnastics class?
Well, it's an all-around. We're teaching you how to be an all-around athlete, okay? And one side, most people have one side that's better than the other. So you may do one side and be like, this is so easy, and then go to do the other side and be more wobbly. So listen to your body, okay? And your depth and your range of motion is going to be unique to anybody else in the room. So don't worry about looking at other people while they do this. This move is just about listening to you and getting that motion of straight down and straight up. That goes into the dumbbell shuffle. So it's kind of like a Napoleon shuffle thing where you switch your feet in the middle and it's kind of this, but we're adding a dumbbell now and we're switching the dumbbell at the top every time, okay? So we're switching. You can get a little dancey, do like a jazz hand off to the side, switch. So you're gonna do that for 16 total. Into a dumbbell plank, clean and press. Yesterday, we did the snatch. So now, we're taking that snatch and we're going all the way over. That leg comes up and then we're pressing up, okay? So now I'm driving through the heel of this foot and I'm keeping that other foot nice and active. So I'm up, bring that dumbbell down, come back around, reset into that plank so you're nice and solid on that arm, pull that around, and come up, okay? That is your plank clean and press. Make sure that, once again, you're exhaling as you come around so that you're activating that core so it's one solid motion around. Whew. Okay, the ladders are out there. So, this ladder that we're doing is, if I am going to my right leg is the leg I'm lunging on. So I'm gonna lunge and then just switch feet. Lunge, in, all the way down, lunge. The second foot, my left foot just taps in and I lunge, okay? Then as I go to my left, it's obviously the opposite. My left leg is lunging, right foot taps. Lunge, tap, okay? All the way down, all the way back, just once, into leg under core rotations. So you're here, okay? And you're just gonna go here, okay? And you're rotating, and you're feeling that hip rotate, and you're gonna do that for 30 seconds, okay? Run, beginning, middle, end. So let's switch